Alright, one of the last things I want you to do with your project is to add a cool title. And we're going to do that with the text tool over here on the side. Make sure you just have on horizontal. You can choose your font. It shows you over here what they're going to look like. There's a lot of choices in here. Try not to spend the whole period looking through them. You want something that's easy to read, so a lot of the kind of cursive ones I don't usually recommend. I like some of the more bold ones. And then you can just drag the box and then type in what you're going to have it say. So in this case, I'm going to call this Super Fugi. And you may need to adjust the size. You can do that by dragging the mouse over it to select it and then change the size down here. Something around 48, 60, or 72 is probably a good size. You can always increase the size just by grabbing the corner and stretching it out, just like with other parts of your image. Now that's a pretty boring title, so to make it look a little bit nicer, we can add some effects. And those are going to be down here at the bottom where it says Effects. Make sure you've clicked on your title and click on Effects. And there's a lot of different choices up here. I would probably just recommend starting with something like Bevel. There's some pretty cool effects with bevels, and if you double click on them, it'll show you what it's going to look like. I'll go ahead and zoom in here so we can see a little better. And if I double click on this one, you can see it kind of makes the letters look a lot fancier. So again, you can kind of click through and find one you like. I like just kind of a simple bevel. And then there's also what are called drop shadows, and that's going to put a shadow kind of behind the letters. Now all of these you can be a lot more specific with, so I normally just kind of get one started, either a bevel or a drop shadow or a glow, and then if you click on the gear up here, you can go to the settings and you can really customize them in here. So for drop shadow, for example, you can adjust the size of the shadow. So if I make it really small, it's like you can actually see the letters. If I increase the shadow size, it kind of blurs them. I can adjust the distance, so how far away they are, and I can adjust the angle or the direction. So all of these kind of be over there on the side. I can make them a little closer now. You can play around with all of these settings. Opacity is how dark or light they are, so if I turn it down, they kind of disappear. Or back up. To get to the different settings, you have to click on the triangle. So if I close all these, then you can see I can turn them on or off. And to adjust them, you can open them up. A glow is kind of cool. You can do what's called an inner glow or an outer glow. An outer glow will put a glow around the outside of the letters, and an inner glow will put the glow on the inside edges of the letters. You can change the color here, so if I wanted my superhero to have yellow as one of his colors, or say a different color over here on the side, I will add that color to the text. Maybe I'll do an orange inner glow and maybe like a yellow outer glow. Might kind of look cool, especially if this was more like a fire superhero. And then finally, adding a stroke can be kind of nice. That'll add like a border edge to your letters. And again, this is a good place to pick like a superhero color, some bright color, add it to your text. Increase the size or decrease the size, kind of pick something that you like. And once you're done, you're going to need to click on OK. You may not be able to see that if these are all open. So if you close some of these triangles, then you should be able to get to OK. And now you should have kind of a cool title somewhere on your image. You may decide to move it if you want. Again, you can resize this just like anything else in Photoshop by grabbing a corner and hit the check mark when you're done. To get back to my layers, I would just press F11, and I can see I've got my title layer. Once you've done your settings, to get back to them, you're going to click on this FX, double click, and then you can get back to all your settings if you wanted to change them. But that's how you can add kind of a cool title to your project.